All right, we are back for the semifinal match. It's between Brad Maxwell and Brenner.
Brad is on a black-green splash-white elf deck. Splashing white for Vindicate. He has some bombs in there. Timberwatch Elf, Imperious Perfect. Some good removal. He got all the black that Spencer was passing in pack 1. Brenner has a double Burning Vengeance with Flame Jab, which is
couple counter spells, Firebolts.
Yeah.
Basically just a really good blue-red
Dream
Burning
Twist,
deck.
all that kind of good stuff. It should be a great match. It'll be underway shortly.
I would probably give the edge to Brenner here.
Yeah, the Burning Vengeance deck is...
I think it's very good.
It's one of the better decks, and it's even better against elves, right?
Yeah.
Although Brad does have ways to deal with the Burning Vengeance with Vindicate.
Right.
We're not sure what's in his sideboard, but...
He needs to be able to draw it kind of on time and be able to cast it on time before Brenner gets fully set up with some counter spells to back it up.
The one thing about the Burning Vengeance deck is it can be very slow.
It can't.
Like it needs he doesn't have glacial walls, which you need in that deck.
Yeah, he can fizzle out a little bit too, right? Because if he doesn't draw Burning Vengeance, it's
then you just have a bunch of mishmash of Dream
cards.
Twists and.
I mean, you have like Firebolts and he does have some just natural resistance, anyways.
We have these flipped.
Yeah.
Brad is on top. Well, there's his white splash. Looks like it's a second turn him to Torok, which is just kind of absurd. After Faithless Looting.
Discarding a Flame Jab and a land. Alright, so Brenner discards a Mountain and a Silent Departure.
Which, if you're discarding cards, you want to be discarding cards with flashback.
Yep. And discarding a land isn't too bad if he's got a few... The nice thing about the Burning Vengeance deck is even though it's a control deck, it doesn't need a ton of lands to kind of be operating. It doesn't have the namesake. It doesn't have a Burning Vengeance. So I think maybe he's got a counterspell possibly. Not sure if he's going to be able to counterspell.
What's Brad got going on? Looks like Brad has another come into play tap land. It doesn't look like he has green mana.
Got a Night's Whisper. Looking to maybe hit a green source here.
And there's the counterspell. Where'd our life counter go? Oh, Spencer left.
So not too much besides playing a couple lands. Looks like there's a forest there finally for Brad, so he's going to be able to start playing some of his green spells. Gets a Vanguard into play. And into a... What is it? It's Night Spoil Druid, right?
Yes, it's pay one. It's basically Elves of the Deep Shadow.
But it adds a green.
That's right.
It's a black creature that adds a green instead of a green creature that adds a black.
There's Avarax. Is he going to search for another Avarax?
I believe so.
Oh, that makes me happy.
Doubt Brenner's going to attack here. Although, I don't know. It's odd because if Brad has two elves, then the Avarax can't block. But if he doesn't have two elves... Alright, so he's going to attack. And then he double blocks, trades the Avarax for the Vanguard. I'm not sure about that double block there.
I think you just take 3. I mean, you're 22.
Yeah.
Use your sinkhole. Use your life as a resource, right?
Yeah, exactly. And Vanguard, I think, is pretty valuable in Brad's deck, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he has a. I guess he might have one or two that aren't elves, but I'm pretty sure he's mostly elves.
Because even like one or two extra triggers makes it pretty big.
Did Brenner drew the namesake of his deck? It looks like there.
Yeah. I think he cast a Faithless Looting. Yeah, he flashbacked a Faithless Looting. He discarded the Avarax he drew, and then a Dream Twist.
So next turn he'll be able to play the Vengeance and Dream Twist.
If he has another land.
Dream Twist only has a flashback of 1, right?
2.
Okay.
Yeah, the casting cost is 1.
Here comes something large by Brad.
Twisted Abomination. There's Burning Vengeance. And yeah, now he's set up with Dream Twist. I think... So the question is, do you go for his face? Or do you kill the Night Spoil Druid?
I don't think you care about the Night Spoiler Druid at this point.
So you just go for his face?
Yeah.
So you would just mill 3, and then next turn you can Silent Departure the Twisted Abomination. Brad is going to be able to get in for 5 to 6 points of damage here.
Oh wow, that doesn't work well at all, does it?
Hard to tell that it's between Brad's lands. He's got a Phyrexian Rager.
Brenner takes 6 here, goes to 14.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure his line is probably going to be Flashback Dream Twist, probably kill the Rager, and then
Bounce Abomination. Well, now you have to clearly kill the Blood Artist.
Which is fine, because you can just kill the Blood Artist and then kill the Rager with the Silent Departure.
He should respond to the Blood Artist, right, and kill the Rager?
And then kill the Blood Artist next turn with the Departure.
Right. So he's just going to off the
Blood Artist right now.
I guess either way, it doesn't matter.
Well, it does give Brad an extra drain by doing it this way. If we do it your way, he has one less drain. Yeah, I think you just Flashback Departure here, right? Flashback Departure, bounce the Abomination, kill the Rager. Then Brad just has to recast the... Yep. Not sure he has a permanent answer to the Abomination is the problem. He needs, like, another Silent Departure would be great.
Yeah, that's why this deck needs Glacial Wall, is to deal with creatures like Abomination.
Yeah, Glacial Wall would be quite good here. Instead, he's just going to go ahead and Faithless Looting. Curious if there were any Glacial Walls in the draft?
Sean Meyer, I know, has 2.
Okay.
And he is white-blue flyers.
Another annoying thing is for Brenner is he doesn't have a lot of mountains. He only has 1. So
Right.
it's going to be hard for him to be casting Flame Jab a bunch. And he also... It's kind of an interesting tension, right? Because he wants multiple red sources to be able to cast Flame Jab multiple times in a turn. But he also wants the lands to discard to retrace the Flame Jab.
Looks like Brenner's on a tidal wave.
So
Comes
tidal wave
in.
to block would only chump the A bomb is the problem. It's essentially just gaining him 5 life if he blocks the abomination, or he could block the blight spoil druid and just kill it.
That doesn't seem great though.
It does.
This puts him on. This puts him on a 3-turn clock instead of a 2-turn clock.
Well, yeah.
I guess either way.
Yeah, the problem is he just needs a way to deal with that abomination, or he has to try and outrace him with Burning Vengeance, which right now he's struggling with a little bit. Can't quite see what else he has. I saw Dragoon Island. Looks like he has a Wee Dragonauts, which unfortunately he can't cast Wee Dragonauts now unless he has another mountain in his hand. But Wee Dragonauts could help him in the game quickly since it turns every spell into 4 points of damage.
Right.
But he needs to make sure he doesn't die to the abomination in the meantime. He plays the island, which is interesting considering that islands don't have a ton of value anymore on the battlefield. They're actually quite valuable in his hand because of both Flame Jab and Faithless Lootings. Looks like it's a Milken, which is probably just going to end up chump blocking.
I think you take 5 there, yeah.
I like blocking because for a couple reasons. One is cards like Tragic Slip. The second is, like, let's say post-combat. Yeah, mostly just Tragic Slip, I guess, or any sort of removal spell that can clear the Milken. Because I think you're just going to chump block with the Milken no matter what, right?
Yeah.
There's the Dragonauts.
I don't know if Brenner could have won this game with the second red, but it definitely would have made it a lot more interesting. If you go Dragonauts, flashback, reckless charge, hit him for 8.
Well, he could have cast the Dragonauts last turn, then this turn cast a Faithless Looting into a Flame Jab, and then next turn maybe had enough if he had the second red.
He just got too far behind too quickly with the abomination coming
Yeah,
pretty early.
he just doesn't have a real good answer to the abomination. So he's going to block there, take 5. He's going to end up going to 1. Brad does have a Zealous Persecution in his deck as well, but I think he would have just used it.
Brenner should have milled
pre-combat.
himself here as well, looking for extra flashback cards.
I don't know if that matters as much unless he has another Silent Departure in his deck, which I guess would be relevant. He is at 1, so every creature he's playing is now lethal. Yeah, I don't... Unless Brenner can kill him this turn with Dragonauts, I don't think he's going to be able to do it. And I think it's going to be very difficult for him to do it with Brad at 22. If Brad was at 21, Brenner would need 5 spells, but as it is, he needs 6 spells right now. And I don't think his mana gives him the ability to do that. Is evacuation in the draft?
I don't believe so.
Alright, so we have a flashback of Dream Twist. I'm assuming just going after Brad's face. Reckless Charge is 7 points of damage, right? Brad at 18, 2 triggers from Burning Vengeance. It's just the Wee Dragonauts just still unfortunately won't do it. It currently has 8 power. Wait, is that right? Yeah, I believe it has 8 power currently. He got Desperate Raving, so now it has 10 power. Brad should be at 16.
Well, it was close. All he really needed was an extra turn.
Yeah, I think one more turn and he would have gotten it. I don't know if there's any possible sideboard options that the two players have. One thing that I think is kind of a bummer for Brenner is you kind of want a deck like Burning Vengeance to win game one because you show what your deck is in game one, and now your opponent has a chance to sideboard against it.
I think everything's. I think that's less important and limited, though.
I think versus decks like specifically Burning Vengeance, it matters more, right? Because it means Brad can board in cards.
Like Seal of Cleansing.
Yeah, he can board in disenchant effects essentially.
Looks like Brenner's looking to board in a bunch of cards here. I did see a Mog Fanatic. I'm not sure what else he has down there. The thing with Burning Vengeance is it's kind of a combo deck, so you don't want to take out too much of. You can't take out your engine.
I mean, he could take out his engine, possibly. I don't know if his sideboard accommodates that kind of sideboarding strategy, where maybe he turns into a traditional blue-red control deck, but I don't know if he has the ability to do that. Maybe he takes out the Wee Dragonauts and the Reckless Charges. If he doesn't,
I think those are good against Brad, though, right? Because he's going to win through the air. Through Burning Vengeance.
I would think so too. Brad didn't show much of a way to deal with
flyers.
To deal with a Wee Dragonaut. What are your thoughts on Sinkhole?
I would not be playing it.
I don't think it's great either.
I think you can play it against, like the 5-color decks.
Sure.
Or even a 3 or 4-color deck. But it wouldn't be in my main deck. It's no Strip Mine or Wasteland.
No.
I mean, if your deck's really aggressive, then I could see playing it. But Strip Mine, it's...
Strip Mine's essentially free, right?
Right.
Because it's a land.
Right.
You can also use it on turn one. But yeah. I have won a couple games in Cube with Strip Mine.
Yes.
The good old turn one, Strip Mine your land. You kept a 2-lander.
GG.
Fun times.
I did have in Cube Courser of Crufix, Crucible of Worlds, Fast Bond, and Strip Mine. It's pretty hot.
I see.
Yeah.
Pay 1 life. No.
Kill all your land for free.
Just destroy all your lands. All right, fair enough. I was thinking, pay 1 life, destroy all your lands, or pay 1 life, destroy your land.
That's still good.
That's still very good. Yes, pay 1 life, destroy your land is very, very powerful. But I forgot about the Courser, so it's destroy all your lands.
Yes. I will Armageddon you.
And you will never play another land again.
I really hate Crucible in Vintage Cube now online because they got rid of Zern Orb, which so you can't make infinite mana anymore with a 3-card combo. So that made me sad.
Isn't it a 2-card combo?
Well, Zern Orb,
you need
Crucible, Fast Spawn.
That's right.
It's still good. People wildly underrate Wildfire.
It's crazy how often I see Wildfires going by in drafts, just in general.
We did an Archetype Cube draft, which is you could get the list from Aaron Murdoch if you're interested. But I got 2 Wildfires quite late in a 5-color monstrosity deck, and it was awesome.
Yeah, Wildfire was a constructed staple for a little while.
Yeah. It was really good. I think Finkel won the Pro Tour with Wildfire, didn't he?
I think it was Kai won Worlds.
Oh,
with
something like
Wildfire.
that.
I remember it was with the win condition was Covetous Dragon because it was a 6/5,
Yeah.
so it didn't die to Wildfire.
And you had Thran Dynamos and Worn Power Stones and...
Overpowered artifact generation.
did that deck run Phyrexian Processor?
I can't remember if it did or not. I think it was like the weaker version. I think it was like pre Tinker, right? It was like a red artifact deck.
Yeah.
And then the Tinker deck was just much more powerful.
Is Urza's block like the most power other than like, Alpha Beta?
I mean, I
Is
think
that just like the most powerful block ever, other than the original block?
yeah. I mean, the only thing I think Alpha, Beta, and Unlimited have going for them is like Lotus and Moxes, right?
Right.
Like,
I'm saying other than
I guess
that.
Recall and Time Walk too. I mean, there's some overpowered cards in Alpha, Beta, but there's so many like just generic underpowered cards.
It looks like we're on turn 3 already, and we didn't even notice.
Brad has a
How did he kill the Hondan?
I can't remember what Nature's Claim.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he used Nature's Claim
He sideboarded a Nature's Claim against the Hondan, or against Burning Vengeance,
and then killed
got
the Hondan. Yeah. Pretty good start. He's got a Blight Spoil Druid, a Llanowar Elf, and a Timberwatch Elf, and now he's just passing. He's just using the Timberwatch Elf as a means to counter any damage-based removal spells.
Yeah, Timberwatch is hard. Well,
Oh.
looks like he's going beats here.
Okay. So he's attacking for 3, 4, 5. Which is interesting because, although I guess Brenner doesn't have an answer for it.
And Brad didn't see any Firebolts from Brenner game 1 either.
Yeah.
He's just getting beat down here.
Yeah, this is a pretty aggressive use of Timberwatch, I think. Versus a red-based deck, I like leaving Timberwatch up just as a means to counter any damage-based removal. But it's been working out for Brad because he's just been dealing a bunch of damage. Now we get to see the real power of Timberwatch Elf, which is basically Brad can just attack with all his creatures and Brenner can't block. He could block the Llanowar Elf and trade. It's pretty sad when your 6-mana fly is trading with the Llanowar Elf. But he can just play any elf, right? Yeah, and there's a Deathrite Shaman.
Now it's just absurd.
Yeah. Yeah, Brenner is just in a very bad spot because of the elf.
He has Fire Blast on a stick at this point.
I mean, so if he
Not
doesn't
only
block,
that, but Deathrite Shaman is a great card against Brenner's deck.
that's true too. It's very good versus Brenner's
Yes.
deck.
Not a good matchup, I don't think, for Brenner here.
Surprising too, because I would imagine the Burning Vengeance
Would be
would
good
be
against
able to
elves.
pick off all the small creatures. And he's just gonna go ahead and deal. I think it's 8 points of damage here because it's 4 and 4.
Yep.
I think he could have played Twisted Abomination this turn, but instead he decided just to deal a bunch of damage.
I like dealing a bunch of damage there.
Yeah, I think
Before
that's
Brenner
pretty
can
good.
set up. Oh my.
Lands. Hondan, lands, Jetting Glass Kite.
Looks like Brad will move on to the finals.